This is the brand new 2022 Lincoln Navigator, and it has a really cool feature. Not that it tows a boat. You know that, of course. It's a big American truck. But the cool feature is something called Active Glide, and strangely that sounds naughty. But basically it's a version of Ford's Blue Cruise, which allows you to autonomously, well, not really, level 2 autonomy, in certain parts of America, drive the vehicle without your hands on the wheel. Let's see if it works. Now before we try Active Glide, yeah, definitely naughty, let's try regular adaptive cruise control with lane centering. So the way that you activate that is by hitting the cruise control down here. That activates cruise control, and then you set the speed. Here the speed limit is 45, so I've got it set to 46 because I'm a rebel. So right now we're just basically using not the fancy Active Glide, but the regular system that's been around for quite a while that many vehicles have. The key, of course, to all of this is that we are nowhere near autonomous driving. I know Tesla has a feature called full self-driving, but it isn't, and neither is autopilot. There are in fact 5 levels of autonomy, and number 5 would be no driver overseeing the system in any kind of weather conditions, and we are at about level 2, which basically means that on certain stretches of highway with ideal conditions where the sensors aren't blocked, the vehicle will drive itself, given that there is a person, a human, behind the wheel who can take control when the vehicle senses that it no longer can drive itself. That could be a clogged sensor, that could be a part of the highway that's not mapped, and so I think it's very confusing to a lot of people because, well, Tesla just came along and made it seem like you can buy a car, get in it, push a button, or in the case of a Tesla, push down on a stalk and have the vehicle actually drive itself, and it doesn't. So let me try cruise control again. So once again, here we are with adaptive cruise control, lane centering, and the vehicle will steer itself, but you have to keep your hand on the wheel. And in this case, there is a stop sign coming. So once again, it turns itself off when I hit the brakes, and the vehicle is obviously not steering itself. If I didn't hit the brakes, I think chances are very good that it would just go careening through the stop sign and cause all kinds of havoc here in Arizona, which would not be good. And here's a curve. We're going to make a curve. It's 30 miles an hour for the curve, so I got to slow us down here. Let me slow us down. All right, 30. There we go. Let's see if we'll do it. Hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. Resume control. It didn't like that. Keep your hands to yourself. I think it knew that I actually took my hands off the wheel, so it wasn't very happy with that. All right, once again, 45. This is a pain in the butt. So this is not the kind of autonomy that most people would find very useful. All right, now here we are, 45. Hands are sort of near the wheel so that the system doesn't scold me like an angry mistress. Yeah, so I kept my hands off the wheel, I don't know, what was it, 10 seconds or so, and then it told me to put them back on the wheel. Well, there you have it, a non-demonstration of, yes, I know, of Active Glide. And I have to look straight ahead because if I look over there at the camera, it thinks that I'm trying to text you or something, and so it gets angry at me and beeps at me and says, no lane centering for you. But the question is, what happens when we actually get on a highway that is mapped and we can actually test the system and see if it will go, I would say at least, you know, a fair way using complete non-hands-on steering where actually it might become useful. All right, now we're approaching some traffic. I've got my foot off the brake and I've got my hands off the wheel, and the car is hands-free and slowing down. So this is the kind of nerve-wracking but best use case scenario. Is gonna hit the Camaro. He didn't hit the Camaro. That was, so I mean, nerve-wracking. I mean, you know, so scary. Wait and hope that it hits the brakes. Sometimes also they do accelerate too much, but this isn't accelerating too quickly. So this is probably the best case and best use scenario for Active Glide or Blue Cruise when basically you're in stop and go traffic and driving becomes no fun. Oh, there's a guy who just pulled in front of me.
In 1.2 miles, take exit 1A
it's a
on the
little
line to AZ51 north towards
stressful.
Tucson.
I have to admit, it's a little stressful because I don't trust the system. Like I say, my foot is off and my hands are off. But this is, oh, there's a guy merging. It's going to cause him to slow down and me to slow down. It's keeping actually a pretty good distance with the car in front of me. But if you trust it 100%, this would be the ideal moment, because obviously driving in stop and go traffic is no fun. And so if the car can do it, and you don't have to do the kind of drudgery of, you know, hitting the brake, hitting the gas, hitting the brake, hitting the gas, this is the best case scenario. So I have to say that if I learn to trust this, this is when I would appreciate it the most. All right, here we are in Phoenix, and we're about to get on.
Turn right to AZ202 Loop West.
Thank you, navigation. AZ202. Now, apparently, this is where Active Glide comes into its own. So let me get on 202, and let me hit the little button on the steering wheel, and let's see if we can engage Active Glide and actually keep my hands off the wheel. All right, here we go. I think it's on. Yeah, hands-free. Get the big icon, hands-free. So, hands-free. I'm just watching the road now. Because God help me if I took my eyes off the road. It's going to scold me. But, you know, it seems to be working. We've got some interesting dynamics happening here. We've got an on-ramp to the right of us. I am in the slow lane, and I do have it set at the speed limit. Apparently, you could go into the system and have it buffer either a little bit below or a little bit above the speed limit when you turn it on, so that let's say, you know, you're a rebel like me and you want to go 66 instead of 65. But so far so good, you know. But let's be a little critical here. We are in Arizona with no traffic, with perfect sunshine, with beautiful roads, i.e. no snow, no rain, no snow plows, and, you know, Ford and Lincoln obviously want to show off their vehicle at its best. It's like when we go off-roading and we're on an off-road course, it's never one that's really going to test a vehicle. Yeah, so far so good. I am looking at the camera and it's not telling me to keep my eyes on the road, which is good. So can I do this? Or will it get angry at me? Oh, look at that. Look, this is scaring drivers next to me. But I have to say, you know, where it's mapped, Active Glide, or the Ford version of the Blue Cruise, is working really well. I feel relatively comfortable. I think it helps that I'm in a very big vehicle. It said not keep hands on the steering wheel. I wonder what happened there. For some reason it told me I've lost the seat. That's what I mean. That's weird. Like all of a sudden it went from fully Active Glidey to no Active Glide, and I don't know why. I don't know what precipitated that change, but it was a little bit of an icon change, and now I have to keep my hands on the wheel. And I think that's going to be the part that really confuses people. You know, this kind of in-between time that we're living in, where we're, you know, trying to figure out this technology, where the manufacturers are trying to figure out how to keep it and how to brand it. So it's an interesting time that we're living through, and by interesting I mean precarious. And until we've established the rules of the road, so to speak, for autonomy, or until these systems become very good, or so well understood by all of us, it's going to be a little bit tricky out here on the roads. And make no mistake, this is the beginning. It's going to take years, more like decades, once again, before we can all go hands-free all the time. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you want to learn about this vehicle, we've actually put up a video already, a TFL car. You can check that one out, where I went through all the towing and horsepower and all the numbers and everything I like and don't like about it. This has kind of been more of well, Active Glide demonstration. See you guys next time. Ciao.